Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
What's up, what's up, what's up? This is your host, Mark Roxey, and you are listening to the Boxing Breakdown. Check it out. I'm in the studio with none other than Mr. Harold Hunt, professional boxing judge. What's up, what's up, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good, I'm good.
Paradise, talking about the sport.
Yes, man. And how was your day? Did you have a good day?
Oh, it was good, man. Weather's nice here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's all good, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Listen, today I'm so pumped. I'm hoping that shortly we will be joined by none other than Mr. Teofimo Lopez Sr, who's going to come on the program and chop up the impending battle between Teofimo Lopez Jr. and Mr. George Kambosos. 135-pound straps on the line, and it's going to be quite a fight, man. There's a lot going on with that. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see any of the fireworks in the their face-off?
Yeah, it was pretty intense there. They went back and forth, and it was great for television, or if you want to say it like that, for the whole thing. It was great. I thought it was well done. It was right on the edge of being, out of control, which is always exciting. So I thought it was well done.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. It was fire. And I mean, in the conference, Teofimo, took off his shirt, man, and they got up in each other's face, and they were ready to fight right there. And the broadcast, the interviewer was like, "Listen, man, you guys aren't getting paid to fight here, and hold off." But it was heated, man. They were throwing arrows for sure. So, are you excited about the fight?
Well, I watched Kambosos' prior fights, and he actually has a little dog. He's well spoken, as you can tell. And that accent always, carries well over the air. But as far as his fight style is concerned, it's going to be an interesting fight until he's exploited, because certain things he does that, Lopez is just going to just jump on. So, there's going to be a lot of flush of blows in this fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. I don't think that anyone has told George Kambosos, who he's facing, man. He's coming in with like the underdog big time. Like he's looking to take what Teofimo has. And I think he really believes that he can do that, so it's interesting. It's interesting to see that. And, time will tell how the fight's going to go. I mean, what do you think? Do you have any predictions for the fight?
Well, initially, if Kambosos is trying to be aggressive, which he probably will be, because he wants to take the fight to him. He was aggressive at the press conference. His style, his vocal style, his fighting style is aggressive. So he's going to be coming in trying to press the issue. And we know Mr. Lopez is a supreme counterpuncher. So those two elements are going to work really well. He's going to be coming, and he's going to be counterpunching, and trying to drop that right hand, that left hand on him as he's coming in. So it's going to be kind of a Floyd Mayweather type Ricky Hatton thing. Hatton's coming, and Floyd's just dropping that counter on him. And I see Lopez dropping that counter on Kambosos the same way. The frequency, the power, but he's got the power where he can just stop him if he runs in there too quickly. So he'll be cautious at first, but I think it's going to be a good fight. We'll see some nice work.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a very interesting assessment. I definitely think that fighting, the fighting style of Kambosos, which seems to be kind of a rough and tumble up in the pocket, may kind of play right into Teofimo's style, or maybe there's something that we're not getting, we're not seeing. Certainly, I mean, I can't tell you that I am a George Kambosos Jr. Expert at all, because I haven't really, I mean, I've studied a lot of his fights, but I can't really tell you that I followed his career like I have followed Teofimo Lopez's career. Obviously, he's from the BK, he's from, represent Brooklyn, shout out Brooklynites, one love. But, I mean, it's just, it's a real interesting fight. I think that in the press conference, the first press conference, there was some discussion about George Kambosos' right hand coming straight into the action, into the frame, and Lopez, hollered back, listen, man, I got power in both hands, So he was, and it's really true. It's really true. I mean, this fight is going to be, really like a coming out party for Teofimo Lopez, because it's the first fight that he's had with the Thriller organization. And they're doing, I don't want to be presumptuous about it, but as far as I can tell, they definitely have put together an interesting promotional model for the fans. I mean, it's really, really interesting. Did you get a chance to see the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight?
Extremely unorthodox, as in the application of the personnel, the concerts, the boxing. All of it was just a whole different piece. However, for this one with Lopez, it's going to be a little different. It'll be more boxing tinged, because you're going to have some of the really diehard fans looking for that, but it's still going to have those elements. So I'm looking forward to that. For sure, how they're going to kind of tweak it a little bit for the diehards, because once the diehards are okay with the concerts and the lightness of the commentators, they're going to tune in.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that, because you got some great fights on here. What Holyfield's fighting on that, right?
Yo.
And Jared Hurd. No, not Jared Hurd is on the Mayweather card. That's a whole nother conversation, but. It's going to be a great night, and he is at the top of the game right now, so people will be tuning in.
Oh yeah, man! And the last fight that the Thriller organization put together was really a, I mean, what a spectacle! I mean, they had all kinds of stuff going on in there. I mean, we've talked about. I was on with K9 Bundridge, who trained Ben Askren, and we did a cast together, which, I love K9, man. Shout out K9, woof, woof, your dog's over here. But, he talked about, the fact that, bringing together Justin Bieber and Snoop and, just all these icons, bringing them all together in one space and really letting it roll like that. The fans have been in quarantine, in COVID-19, they're ready for this kind of renaissance of boxing. And man, it's going to bring a lot of young audience to the sport of boxing, which we really, really need. So I'm pumped about it, man, for sure. Listen, George Kambosos comes into this fight with a record of 19-0, with 10 KOs. And Teofimo Lopez comes into the fight 16-0 with 12 KOs, right? So, I mean, that he does have a lot of fights. I mean, George Kambosos does have a lot of fights. It's not like he's just, and he's got 10 KOs, so he's got something in his hands, right? True.
And, marketing standpoint, the O's look beautiful. So that's gonna do well. As I said before, he really has a nice little mouthpiece on him. Got that little accent going on, right? He got the little movie star looks or whatever. In the ring, he has a little dog in him. So he's a great foil to Lopez's father, who was very vocal and very outlandish in some things he says. So those two just going back and forth is great. But imagine doing the fight, the back and forth, between the two in the ring. So that is just going to be great, man. But I just see him believing in himself that he can actually, do this. And until his will is broken or he breaks Mr. Lopez's will, until that happens, it's going to be great because neither one of them know how to lose. Both of them believe that they will, conquer, and up until that point where it's known who the best fighter is, it's going to be great. I look for at least 6-7 rounds of just will until someone takes over. Yeah. So you think you're thinking it's going to go the distance, huh? Well, I said 6 or 7. That's what I said before someone takes over. Somebody's going to take over, and I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm saying around 6 or 7. It should be clear who's going to be a dominant fighter because initially Kambosos is going to be taking some of those blows because he's coming in there. Yeah. And until you break him, he's going to be coming. But on the other hand, we don't know what Mr. Lopez is going to absorb and how he's going to be hit, because Lomachenko didn't hit him. And Lopez has only been hit once or twice that I can remember. And that's with the Japanese fighter, but he had a little thing going on with his marriage and all that kind of stuff. So he was kind of off kilter. So I don't really know. I've really never seen him take a punch. Listen, it's boxing. He got out the way. I've never seen him moved or rocked or anything like that. So we don't know. This guy may never touch him. I don't know. So that's the whole thing about the fight that's interesting to me. Really? You didn't? Well, I mean, I recall in the Lomachenko fight, toward the end of the fight, probably like 10, 11, and 12, Teofimo was getting touched up a little bit. He was getting touched a little bit in the later rounds of the fight. So, and he took those shots, man, like no problem. Yes. Yes, that's what I said. He didn't waver, so he took them. But, if you can't take so many. So I don't know how many he can take, but he took those nicely. He did. And that's when Lomachenko was desperate. So he did do that. But I've never seen him take a backward step or really, be, have to hold or whatever. So I'm not saying it's going to happen this time, right? But you always need to see that, right? That's what makes fighters exciting. Yeah. Their vulnerability. No, for sure. I mean, look, I know, Teofimo has been very, very vocal about really not looking past George Kambosos. I'm very, very happy to hear him say those kinds of things in his interviews and such because, typically it's very easy to look past the person who you're about to face with all of the different, cast of characters in the 130-pound, 35-pound weight division, and even the 140-pound weight division. I know he has some aspirations to get up in there and do some work up there, and even higher. I've heard him talk about going up even higher than that. So, I was hoping that we were going to get Mr. Lopez Sr. on, and I'm sure he's running late in training or whatever, so we can get him when we get him, but I'm sure he'll be on at some point. But, I think, all the guys, man, Vasily Lomachenko, Jorge Linares, Javier Fortuna, man, they're all sitting there waiting to see what happens. Tank, yeah, man. So let's talk for a second, while we have a second, let's chop up this business with Ryan Garcia. So some news came across the wire a couple of days ago. I think it's maybe about 4 days ago at this point, talking about Ryan Garcia pulling out of the fight, his upcoming fight with Javier Fortuna. And he cited in his
letter to the public that in fact it was due to taking some time to deal with some medical issues that he needed to address. So I'm wondering if you were able to peek into that, or do you have any insight onto that?
I've been scouring the internet looking for something that points to what it could be for him to pull out. And you're above me on that because I didn't even find anything medical. I just found out that his well-being, he was concerned with his well-being. You know, it didn't say anything about, I didn't find anything about a physical thing or emotional thing. It's just that it was well-being. So that was pretty generic, and that just left, you know, the imagination to run wild. So if you say it was a physical thing, that's something. You know, it could be his hands, his foot, his neck. We don't know what it is. So that's good. Rather that than a mental situation. You know, a nervous breakdown or this or that or the other, because that speaks to, you know, being unstable. But since it's medical, we know fighters hurt all the time. You know, they come to every fight hurt. You know, you never come to a fight where you're 100% healthy. So
interesting. Listen, I just want to roll that back, what you just said, because I am not 100% sure that it is in fact a mental issue, because there hasn't been anything released about what the exact cause of his pullout was, but there have been some references, actually quite a bit of references to it being some, you know, him needing some time to really work on himself as a human being. And I think that that's really, that's a real powerful statement to have been made. So in fact, he is pulling out due to some, you know, having some need to work on himself mentally, right? And really on who he is as a human being. So I think that's really, really powerful. And, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, I wish Ryan Garcia all the best. I hope, in fact, that whatever it is, he's able to handle it. And I think it's really courageous and powerful for you, Ryan Garcia, to have been able to come out and share that. I think that thousands upon thousands of young people and older people will really take note of that. And so I applaud you. And, you know, with that, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. And yeah, man, we're going to get Teofimo Lopez Sr. on the cast shortly. But until then, peace and love, and we are out.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.